Were you abused in your marriage? Is your marriage like a fairy tale with a happy ending, or is your marriage like a nightmare? When a man and woman fall in love, they are on cloud nine, so to speak. They can't wait to share their lives together, so they decide to get married and plan to live happily ever after. Once they are married, suddenly the marriage changes. Things don't go the way you planned them. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? If your spouse changes for the better, then that is a good thing. But if he or she changes from a good person to becoming a bad person, then that is not a good sign. I got married at the age of 25. I was hoping to find Mr. Right, so he could love me for me, and I would show my love for him in return. I thought I found that loving person for me so we can live a happy life together. I even married in his religion so I could be closer to God, but instead my marriage was slowly drifting me away from God. As your married life begins. From the very start of my honeymoon until the time I left my husband, things were gradually becoming more and more abusive. The longer I lived with him, the abuse got worse. I was afraid to come home after work at night. At the beginning, the mental abuse started, then gradually the sexual abuse came into play. Love me or else? I tried everything to make my marriage work, but as long as my spouse disapproved of getting help, it was hard for me. I started to wonder if it was my fault for being raped in the past. I even went to a psychiatrist to see if it was my fault that my marriage was falling apart. My husband blamed me for having too much sex in the past, that I didn't want it anymore. But that is not true. I wanted to be loved so much and show my love back to him. But when it ends up being one-sided, you start to hide. I slept in the shower, I hid under the crawl space, behind furniture. I kept saying to myself, if I wasn't abused, raped, and did other things in my past that I should have not done, my marriage would have been saved. In Ephesians chapter 5, verses 24 and 28 states that wives should submit to their husbands, and husbands love their wives as their own bodies. But when your spouse only thinks of their own satisfaction, where do you fit in? You don't. When you start to want to do bodily harm to your spouse, then that is the time to leave and get help for yourself. That is what I did, and I am glad I left him. Now my life has changed for the better. My name is Diana. I have never been so close to God like I am today. I have a very close relationship with him, and he is helping me. If it wasn't for God, I would have ended my life a long time ago, but he showed me a better life. I was a person that hated reading and doing poetry in school, but since I had an abusive life, God wanted me to write a book about my past, to help others and give them hope not to give up. The love you seek, is it in the wrong places? The cat is the abuser, the goldfish is the victim, the fishbowl is a place where the fish is trapped and has no place to run. The abuser is looking for satisfaction, the victim is trying to run and hide, the flower gives hope. This book includes prologue, my childhood, my adult life, my marriage, scammers online, epilogue. Each chapter talks about my life and some abuses that I went through. This book has scriptures to give us hope to never give up in our lives with God's help, and poetry that God brought out of me. The poems are thoughts of how I felt at that time, and you might get that same feeling. For me to publish my book, I'm looking for someone or a company to help me, because I don't have the funds to do this. I'm willing to sign a contract and make some kind of deal with that company or person. I really need need your feedback about this video, and please share this video with others. Original video by Diana Semichek, and thank you for watching.